What's going on, guys? This is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. Today we've got our VRD carbon kit. We've got some serious upgrades on here with the Vanquish VFD stubby kit and servo behind the axle, as well as some other changes I'm going to talk about. But what we're going to run today is actually another YouTube channel's RC trail that he came out and made in the area that I like to go drive. That channel is BWC Racing. That is Braxton. Braxton is an upcoming professional rock crawler. The kid's like 16 or 17 years old, and he's already competing in We Rock in Pro Mod. These last few years, he's been driving the Pseudo Racing Milestar car. So he's a badass behind the wheel, and then he also has some pretty sweet RC videos. So be sure to check out his YouTube channel, BWC Racing. I will link that down below, and you can find full-size and RC content there. So let's go check this out, see if we can keep up with Braxton. I just rewatched his video on this trail. It's called Cold Cuts, RC Trail Breaking Cold Cuts, I think is what he named it. And I went and walked it as I watched the video. There's some pretty good stuff here, so this looks fun. We're gonna go check it out. I had played on some of these obstacles before and I never made it. I still haven't ever made it. So I brought out the big dog, which is my VRD carbon kit right here. We're gonna go see if we can hang with Braxton. Let's see how this goes. All right, guys, so this is my Vanquish VRD carbon kit. This kit has been out for a few weeks, and I've made a lot of changes to it. Not that it necessarily needed them, but just because, you know, I can't leave stuff alone. So the most notable change, that's probably the most, you know, visual at least, is the axles under this thing. I put a Vanquish aluminum F10 portal housings, F10 aluminum knuckles, and front brass weights on the front of this truck, and the finish quality on all the Vanquish aluminum parts are just so good. So real excited to have the axle housings front and rear. Went with the clear anodize on that. I thought the clear looked good. I like the blue and silver body with it, and I think it just kind of pops. We've also got our Spec RC comp cut wheels, Proline Krawler in the G8 compound. That's my go-to tire, man. They just work too good to not use them. There we go. Look at that slow speed control. Wow. We're going to talk about that. Well, that didn't work, did it? We'll have to try that again. All right, we're not going to be so ginger on the throttle this time. We're going to creep it on down, and then we'll drive it out towards the end. The Vanquish VRD 6 degree skid. Wow, that got away from me a little bit, but we pulled it off. So I just watched this video, and I think I'm gonna follow this pretty well step for step. What are some of the other changes we've made to the VRD carbon? One that might not be so obvious is I put some in the works 90mm shocks on this thing. These also have the Losi Mini T springs on here. I did change the spring rate from in the works on the front of the truck. I wanted them a little softer to get my ride height a little lower. And then the rear came with, I believe they were designated medium springs from in the works. I left the rear medium because there's more shock angle. It gives more leverage on that rear axle. Oh, we're about to miss our turn. With your shocks being more angled down, you want a stiffer spring rate because geometry, I don't know why, but in reality, you do want a stronger spring if your shock is more laid down. The suspension has more leverage against it. Leverage? Am I English? Who the hell knows? All right, there we go. Good little side hill, nice ledge here. This truck has a ton of overdrive, and the rear end just wants to slide. So this would be a good challenge for the VRD. Don't you let go. She's gonna hang on, that'll be all right. I'm trying not to fall down though. Braxton made this trail on quite the side hill here. And then we're gonna go ahead and turn uphill and make this climb. Now, I put the Vanquish VFD stubby kit in this truck. They made this for the VRD, although it will apply to other VFD equipped vehicles if you want. Now, the main reason I wanted the stubby kit is so I could do behind the axle servo mount, which gets your servo down practically an inch from where it comes out of the VRD kit. It's still 4-link and servo on axle, but it sits behind the axle. I'm trying to get my rears set where I want. This is pretty steep and very slick. It's cool today, the rocks are cold, and then this mossy stuff doesn't provide a lot of traction. Now, with the stubby kit, you are forced to run a very short motor. So the motor that I chose was a Holmes Hobby revolver snub nose. Now, I had just ordered one for my UC fab, but I stole it out of the UC fab to run this truck. So I don't know if I'm going to end up ordering a different motor for this truck or just end up ordering another one for the UC fab. Trying to get that hook, lots of overdrive. Come on, pull, truck. Pull. We got the ledge where we need it. Oh, that's where I want it to go. Oh, I had it. All right, sweet. Got the climb. That was a good one there. I liked it. That was fun. These F10 portals have amazing steering angle, and with the servo on axle setup, there's no like bump steer or anything like that, so you have full steering range all the time, whether the truck's articulated or sitting straight. If a 3-link isn't set up correctly, you get bump steer, and as you articulate the truck, it can affect your total steering angle. Sometimes it'll turn sharper or less sharp. Just depends on if you've messed it up or not. I want to see if I can crawl this before I start bumping stuff. These tall, ledgy climbs like this can be very tricky sometimes. Nice, nice. I'm gonna bring it way back over here, get the rear up, and then we're gonna cut back right. So I got the Holmes Crawlmaster, is it the Crawlmaster? V3 ESC, it's their sensorless, brushless ESC for their revolvers, and it's also silent. The Castle ESCs with revolvers make a hideous whine. One of my favorite comparisons is that someone said it sounds like a fax machine coming down the trail. I could not agree more. I am not a fan of the Castle whine with the revolvers. That's why I've never had an Outrunner motor. And I'll show you here in a second what an Outrunner is. The outside of the motor is what spins. It was popular in RC planes or I guess it still is, for brushless motors, but somebody decided to stuff one in an RC car. They create a lot of torque and they are sensorless. So you have to have the correct ESC to run it smoothly. And this V3 from Holmes has been excellent so far. I am running an external BEC, but look at where my servo is. It's tucked up nice from the portals, but it sits back behind the axle. Now, it doesn't seem like a big difference, but the servo sitting on top of the axle is noticeably higher. But when you get a truck on a steep angle, it's the weight in the front that you want to keep low. I really wouldn't care if a servo is on top of the axle on the rear, because most of the time you're vertical, that doesn't make a big difference. But if you get the front end vertical, having all the weight up high makes a big difference. So this will help with side hilling as well as vertical climbs. This will be a good performance upgrade, and with the stubby VFD and the smaller motor, we've lightened our chassis weight as well. Sweet. Now we're getting over to the good part of cold cuts. So we got in the works shocks, servo behind the axle, Spec RC comp cuts, and just that beautiful machined finish. They're not even polished, that's just how they come off the machine. Spec does amazing work with those CNCs. That dude knows how to set up a machine. Aluminum F10s, revolver, Reefs Raw 800 servo. It's the low profile. And then I used Rock Pirates RC spacer pack to actually lift that servo up just a little bit so that I could comfortably put the drag link under the servo arm and not have it interfere with any of the steering components there. I was getting just a little bit of a bump into the servo mounting screws with the drag link, and by lifting that servo with the spacers, it gave me more clearance. And I used an Element RC gray rod end with an offset, so it gave me a little added clearance there as well. Navigating some technical terrain here. This is where portals are a huge benefit, and big steering angle really helps, which this truck has both. So now I do have hard body mounts for sliders right now. I do have a RC four-wheel drive, what the heck is it called? It's the Toyota cab that everybody uses, but it's not actually licensed Toyota. The Mojave cab. I picked these hard body mounts up from Shrink RC. Thank you very much, Jesse. He just came out with them. And he got a sent my way, and I'm excited to hard body swap this truck for next year's competition season. I think our Velcro got into our motor or something. I have to take a look here. Yeah, I think I just had some sand get in the motor. Not sure there. I was getting a little throttle happy and some loose sand. So here are the defining features of this trail. And I've actually never tried this approach to this obstacle. I always tried to climb over here, which just didn't work. So we're gonna see if we can get up this wall, get the truck to stick, and then work our way over. Yeah, it sounds like there's like a little twig or something in there rubbing on my motor, but I can't see anything. Oh, that almost had it. I tried this the other day with my trepidors on my Winch Capra, and the car just would not stick on this wall. I could get the rears up and it would just slide down every time. So we're actually going to rely on the truck not climbing here and use some crazy steering to help work that rear around before we finally commit to dropping off. There we go. Navigated through there. That was a good obstacle. Now we're getting into stage one of the final climb. Try not to smash my head on a rock here. It's a little tight in here. So you gotta run this like a pinch, and then you gotta get balanced, and then we're gonna have to bump a V-crack, which is always very, very difficult, and I don't recommend it. But to get that left rear up, we're gonna have to bump, because we need to keep our rights on the wall, and that left rear tire isn't gonna wanna let us do it. Oh, that was so close. These are the obstacles that I had never done before. And I had played on them, but I just never committed enough time to figure it out, apparently. This is very, very steep. And Braxton's RC, man, he made it look easy. So his truck's set up well. What happens if I just go straight? That's a very vertical wall at the top. By the time you get the rears up the ledge, the front's coming over backwards. Yeah, these revolvers may not be long for this world in the sand. Just got sand grit just getting smashed in there against the rotor. Fun stuff. Ah, that was close. Unloaded on me at the top. All right, come on VRD, let's get it. Oh, you just gotta tell it, let's get it, and then it does. Trying to finesse that front driver. We need to keep it out of that rock until we're secured up here, and then wrap around the wall. And now we got to get our skid over this crazy breakover. Yeah, you can see the amount of breakover we're dealing with here. Damn. We'll reset at the bottom now. Yeah, I think we got to get our tire on that left wall sooner. Man, something sounds horrible in this thing. Sometimes, and then it goes away. All right, let's try this again. VRD, let's get it. That's funny. Okay, can we wrap this ledge any sooner? Come on. All right, we got the belly up and through. Just need to work the rear out. Sweet. Okay, stage 1 is done. Now we're on to the next one. Okay, final stage, up and out of the end of cold cuts. This has been a really fun RC trail. It's very short and sweet, but sometimes those are the good ones. You don't have a lot of time, but there's definitely some challenging obstacles here. Now, in Braxton's video of BWC Racing, he mentions, oh yeah, you can just turn out left at the top if you don't want to go up the vertical wall. That is the obstacle I've played on a lot, and turning out left can be really difficult depending on your car. Apparently the VRD can do it, so I just wanted to see how difficult or easy the turn out right. I wanted to see how easy or difficult that could be. And apparently it will do it. I'm already past the difficult part in my mind. There's a big ledge down below. So you just do like a U-turn right here and drive it out. Okay, we're gonna try it again and follow Braxton's line though. I've had my rear steer cars on that line before, and man, I've struggled for a while, so this VRD is just really good. Okay. Try and turn right, because that front passenger climbs higher, takes pressure off the right rear, lets it climb easier. Now we've got a ledge off the left rear. And if we try and turn to driver, it's going to get real vertical on us. And there's a lot of flex going on in the truck, so we're lifting our tire. I was thinking I may have to drop the tire all the way to the bottom of the crack, but it might pull it off without doing that. Well, tires are trying to force us to do that anyway. There it is. Got our hook. Let's work that rear tire further towards the middle, and then we'll turn back into it. Okay, ooh, grabbed it just the last second before that right rear fell in. And that is going to close it out for our VRD with some changes and mods. This thing will fight you to the bitter end. Okay. Got some good torque out of that revolver. I was hoping I could put the 540 revolver in here, as Holmes states that it has double the torque of the snub nose. But the stubby kit doesn't allow for that. The length motor restriction is too short for the 540 revolver. It's like 2 millimeters too short. It's real close, but enough that it won't work. Okay, grab, no. There, now grab. Yes, yes. Oh, man, it's really hard to save yourself out of that. It's so funny, this is like, it doesn't look like much, but I'm fighting this. You need to keep those rears balanced and not let it fall into that pocket. Reefs 800 fighting our way through. Because as soon as the front lands, the rear slides in. And I can't get the rear up and out of that pocket. And the truck tries to roll on me. This is really tricky. This is funny. I haven't made it up here before to try this obstacle. Come on. Come on, VRD. Okay, let's give this one proper last try. I'm confident this truck can do it. I'm just driving it wrong. So what if we try and stay further to the right on our approach? Keep our rears further to the right. Those fronts just get into that overhang and really don't like life in there. This is a good one. I'm liking it. It's fighting me. It's hard, but I think it's possible. These are the kind of obstacles I like. The ones that put up a fight. You gotta earn them. That was just about it. Oh, did we get it? If this it's very steep, so I know why it's unloading, but I wish that it would stop. Damn it. The last obstacle is half the video. Almost. No! Oh, shit. It was going where I wanted, and then it slipped off my line, and then it spit me out. Let's try that one more time. It's gonna give me a totally different approach for the final obstacle, which I think will be exactly what we need. That servo wiggle certainly worked out to our favor. No, the front got trapped. Damn this cold cut sandwich. I actually want to go up here and then work the truck around to the right and go back up the crack. The truck just keeps climbing though. I need it to rotate. All right. It's a little funky. Hey. Hey. No, damn you. God damn it. Every time I think I've got it, it's like, nah, bro, not this time. That's the line. I'm going out to the right. And wait for it to hook up. And then bump. Okay, well I went out to the right. Maybe that's not the line he did. That's the line I did. That was Cold Cuts, BWC Racing on YouTube. Be sure to get over there, get subscribed. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. Take a look at how tucked away that front servo is under that axle. Nothing's hitting that thing behind the axle. My name's Logan with West Desert Wheeler. That was a really fun one. Real challenge there at the end. The first obstacles are fun, good little warm up, but the end is really what makes this trail shine. So great work, dude. That was a lot of fun, and thanks for posting up your video. I was able to come out, find it, and run it myself. Thank you guys for watching. I greatly appreciate your time. My name is Logan with West Desert Wheeler. We will see you guys in the next one. Keep the rubber side down.